Hey, Tom here, FlipAnythingUSA. It is Wednesday. Just getting through a storm. I've got welders working. I've got painters working. I've got drywall repair working. We're doing floor leveling for a wood floor going in. And I had plumbers this morning actually fixing a repair. We had a break. We're sweating another break because we have one of my commercial buildings. There's no water, which sometimes when there's no water, it's indicative of a break because it means something's frozen solid. And if it's frozen solid, it may have damaged the pipe, and that does happen about 50% of the time when that does happen. Always important, run that water. Even if some people try to just set a tiny drip, man, just go with the stream. Just the money you spend on the water is peanuts. In comparison to the grief you'll give yourself with a break. The other thing I was going to tell you is there's a new device that a buddy of mine was telling me about, really cool, for when you do have freezing conditions. It's for on a hose bib. You screw this cap on over the hose bib. It's actually a valve, but you screw it on, then you just turn the water on full, and then it gives you enough drip no matter what. Sometimes you're playing with the hose bib and it's dripping too fast, or it's streaming more than you want to use. Sometimes you're creating a hazard because sometimes when you put a drip on a line, you can be creating a patch of ice for somebody to slip in. Hey Grant, how you doing, buddy? By the way, you can call in here. Anybody got any questions? I thought we'd talk about some things. I can kind of go back into history here, and I'll talk about how I made 30 grand, probably about maybe 1983. This is when I didn't have any money, and I was relying on a partner to help me, to help cover, to flip, to buy and sell. And always better to buy, always better to buy. I've wholesale here and there. I do that as a hedge. It's like a backup when I can't do something else. And so anything you want to talk about, we can talk about, but we can jump into that. If you just got here, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and we'll be right back. You want to learn how to make millions of dollars in real estate? I've made tens of millions over my lifetime, and I'm showing people how to do it. Get in my free webinar. I have it every Thursday, 7 p.m. Central. Go to the link below, FlipAnythingUSA.com/webinar. Sign up for it. You can talk to me face to face if you want. Don't waste any time. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. You don't want to miss my channel. I've been doing it for years. All right. Anyways, so if you're new here, you might want to get a copy of my book, Wake Up and Smell the Real Estate. It's been a bestseller on Amazon, Audible, and Kindle. A lot of people have done very well with the book. Other people get in my mentorship, which is also available. You can check that out sometime. But I'm going to talk about basically back in about 1983. And this is something all of you can do even now. It doesn't have to be the same thing. But you can see I kind of made a little rendering here that you can see up here in the corner. I buy houses, right? I made a little card just like that. It wasn't purple, but it was just a regular white card. And that's I tell you, you want to keep things simple. If you make things too complicated or too weird looking, it won't serve you well. But just get to the damn point. That's very important for all of you that are looking to be investors. But a little card like that, I buy houses under 50,000, Tom McKay, and my phone number, which I can't even remember what it was back at that time. But I'll just going to tell you a story, and I'll explain to you how I landed a deal and some of the reactions I got when I created these cards. I would hand them to agents, particularly. I would hand these mostly to real estate agents. And, and I was young. I was like, 20, was I 20? I was 20 years old. I never really had a problem people taking me seriously. But, some people have little trouble taking you seriously just on the money itself. Hey, son, don't use that number. Use the number on the picture, just so you know. Anyways, what I was going to say is when you make a card like that, especially, let me put it this way, I buy houses under 50,000. 50,000 was cheap, even back then in the 80s. But the reactions you'll get will be, the kind of typical reactions are, oh yeah, well I do too, or who doesn't? Hey son, would you tell the welders that I'm busy right now? They're texting me. I got multiple jobs going right now, folks, and we'll share some of that. You're going to see some cool video coming out. I'll just show you a couple things, modifying gates, doing some other things. It really pays to be handy, and or at least know people that are handy. So keep that in mind, whether you're handy or not. You better find some people that are if you're going to be, productive as a landlord, particularly. I've got about 200,000 square feet, roughly, of rentals now, maybe just a hair under that, there's just so many situations that come up where things need to be repaired and fixed and taken care of quickly. But so back to the cards. So I'm going to show you the house. So you make a card like that. Like I say, people say, "Oh, hey, well, yeah, who doesn't?" Or I do. And you just when you respond, you say, "Well, look, if you if you have one that maybe you don't have the money available for." Call me. And sure enough, I'm going to show you the actual property. And this is kind of some of the stuff I do when you get in the webinar, which, by the way, sign up for the webinar. That's kind of a no-brainer. Also, by the way, listen, this is important for anybody watching. I've got a new app coming that is for everyone, 100% for everyone. And you get on my email list, and you can get it for free. Tom at FlipAnythingUSA. Tom at FlipAnythingUSA, or just sign up for the webinar, which you can do that. But this is going to be real interesting. So this app, I already have an app out there called the Flip Anything app. But 1 second here, quickly.
He wants to know whether or not he should buy the hinges for the gate or not today.
Yeah, if you can, tell him buy them. 2 sets. A size under from the gates we just did. Yeah. So anyways, we're building iron gates today. And I see some people fading out. Listen, I'm telling you, those of you watching, keep watching, because this will make you some money if you just use your heads. And trust me, because I've done this for a long time. Anyways, a little card like that, it just cuts all the bullshit. You got to ask for what you want, just so you know. People have anxiety. They're afraid to ask. They're afraid to step up. And, it's just like, being afraid to ask that girl you want to go on a date. And those of you that have been in that position, then you went ahead and, manned up and asked for her number. And surprisingly, you got it. Well, that's kind of like this card, right? Make the damn card, go out there, or and stick it in somebody's hand and, and take a chance at being laughed at or rejected or turned down. That's part of being successful, is failure and not always winning every time. Yeah, so and listen, it's so sad out there, and I'm starting to sound like my dad and my grandpa, right? Because it's just like the younger people today, they're just running out of skills. They're not getting skills. They seem to want everything to be easy, and it's just become such a pussified society. It's really sad. So you get some skills and you man up and you do these things, and it'll be like you'll be the only wolf in the room and everybody else will be sheep, and you'll be eating them alive, because it's just how it is. But get a card like this and don't be afraid to present it. Hey, Russ, good to see you in here. By the way, Russ is one of those guys that's unafraid. Like a lot of people in my class, they're unafraid. And he's making millions of dollars as a result. It's a wonderful thing. But I'm going to tell you this story because this is an important one. Let me change the screen here. There we go. So I'm going to take you on Google Earth. Let me go ahead and hide the card here. There we go. And so this house was on H8. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, let's see. I'll just get us in the neighborhood. That was properties that I bought in Texas. These are properties that I bought in California, right here. These are the ones I bought back in the 80s, made my first $1 million on. But yeah, it's right. Here it is, right? Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I think it's over here. It's mislabeled, I think, but yeah, H8. Let me see here. This is in Lancaster, California. Yeah, sounds about right. East Avenue, H8. Oh, no. Okay, here we go. Now I found it. So, this is so just, I'm taking you back to like 1982 or 1983. And this is the whole route. My office was right here above my head. Okay, it's that first building that I tell you, I've shown you that I bought. I was 19 years old, bought a 6,000 or 5,900 square foot building here. Well, one of the realtors that I had put this card in his hand, okay, this card right here, his office was about right here where it says Lancaster. If you see that right there, Lancaster. And so his name was Dan McMahon, actually. Dan McMahon, McMahon. Dan, he's probably still in business. He wasn't that old. Dan McMahon, and he these guys like to book themselves. They had names for themselves, like the dancing realtor, the singing realtor, the voice of real estate. That was Bruce Hailstone. And there's different people with these different characters, or they're really kind of characters of themselves, the way they made it out. But Dan was the gentleman realtor, and he was a complete gentleman. It was a perfect name for him, or a perfect tagline, I guess. And so he calls me up, and he says, "Hey, I got your card here." He goes, "And I think I have a house for you under 50,000." I said, "All right, where's it at?" And he told me it was right here on, I think it was 802 H8, right here. And he said, "I've got the sellers sitting right in front of me. Their dad has got some issues." And so what do you think I did? I immediately drove from here. His office is right about here, where Lancaster is. I went straight down here, drove down H8. I'll show you the house. And it was 34,000, or no, actually they wanted 50,000. They wanted 50,000 for it, or something right in there. And so this was a good sized house, wooden floors, 4-bedroom, maybe 2.5 bath. And like I say, this is exactly what it looked like. It hasn't changed a bit, to be honest. And so I immediately drove by. I don't even think I stopped. I just drove by and I said, "Hell yeah, that's a great deal." And I just put it on down the road and went right back up 10th Street, which you see here, and went straight to the office. I think the office is right about there, right just to the right of that Lancaster. Went in, sat down with them, and I said, "Look, I'll take it." I said, "I'll give you 50,000 terms, 10,000 down, take 40. I said, "Or I'll give you $34,000 cash." And they said, "Okay, well, let's go take a look at it together." And so we, caravanned over there to this place. Went inside, and this is in my book. By the way, if you don't have my book, get my book, because this is called The Cockroach House. I refer to this as The Cockroach House. Actually, I should just read a chapter to you from the book, to be honest. But anyways, we go in there, and this place was so smoke-filled, or had been so smoke-filled, that when you look down at the baseboard was almost white, and as it went up the walls, it got from a tan to a light brown to a dark brown to the roof was almost like a dark caramel, and it was just pure exhaust, smoke exhaust, right? People smoking. And so we walk into the house, and it was kind of weird that the couches were pulled away from the wall a little bit. There was 2 derelicts or winos. They were out of it. They're kind of like this. And then there's an old man sitting on a couch opposite of these 2 derelicts, and he's just as out of it. Well, he's old and just kind of, and these guys are living with him, and we don't even know what the situation is. And the mother and the mother, I should say the daughter of this old guy, and her husband, they're walking through, and they're just like, and we walk into that living room, and I kind of turn left, and that's where the kitchen is, off to the left facing into the living room. And so I said, "Well, let's look around." I'm looking around. We went over. I go into the kitchen, and the stove is pulled away from the back wall, And I remember this vividly because there was a frying pan, and it was about that thick with, whatever, with grease. And there were literally cockroaches, just dead. Looked like the Cadillac Ranch. Cockroaches kind of stuck in head first, kind of just dead in this thing, and it's disgusting, right? And this all worked to my advantage. And so, like I said, the stove was actually pulled away from the wall. They were probably having some sort of problem with it, and that's why it was sitting where it was. The place was a pigsty. It was very dirty. When you walk around the corner, when you walk into the kitchen, then you go back to the left, there's another hallway that heads right back to the front door. So I go in there and I said, well, where's the water heater? And so we're standing there, and I've got the couple that were, whatever, the son-in-law and the daughter of the old man, and then Dan McMahon, the gentleman realtor, off to their side. And it was a pair of double doors. And I grab these doors, and I can't get them open at first pull. And so I just yank on them. And when I pull it open, there were cockroaches on the top of these doors. And I mean, literally, when I yanked it open, cockroaches showered down on all of us. And then there's cockroaches everywhere, all over the walls, behind the water heater. And the woman just screamed. She just screamed. She just ran out of the house. And she said, I just get out of here, just sell it. And I just followed them on out the door. We drove back here. We drove right back to the agent's office. And they said, we'll sell it to you cash, $34,000, 30-day escrow. Done, signed. I took it. They came back. They got their dad, pulled him out of there, took his belongings, and they were gone. And I said they could leave everything. Make it easy. I made it easy for them. Just leave everything. And so I came back. And, hey, by the way, if anybody wants to call in, that call-in number is good. If you got any questions, you want to talk about this, that's the number you call into right there, by the way. And I will, right now there's nobody in line, so anybody can call in. But you got to understand, this is, if I hadn't made that card, okay, if I hadn't created that card, I wouldn't have made that deal. And this is 30,000 back in like 1982, 1983. 30,000 back then is like 60,000. I'm sorry, it's more like 90,000, like 3 times that now. And so consider that it's like making almost $100,000 right now. So by making this simple little card that that read what you see there, I buy houses under 50,000, Tom McKay, and had my phone number on it. That got the phone call, made the conditions where that I just described. And we signed that thing up, and I didn't even have the 30,000, right? But I wasn't worried about that. It was going to be very easy to get the 30,000, and so I went to a buddy of mine that could pull the money on credit card, and he did, and we paid cash for the house, and maybe $1,800 later, got it all cleaned up, and we actually had a little bit of vandalism along the way, but in the end, I got that thing cleaned up and sold it within 30 days of buying it. And now I was splitting $30,000 with my buddy. Now I had 15 that I didn't have the week before. And it wasn't long after that, I had enough cash between buying. I did about 3 or 4 deals like I just described. And some where I only made $7,500. But by the end of those 4 or 5 deals, I had about $40,000 cash just myself. And then the next deal I bought, I only needed like $5,000 because it was an owner finance deal, and not owner finance. It was a FHA loan, FHA assumable loan. And these are the things you can do. Hey, Brent, good to see you in here. John, good to see you. How do you determine the amount that you put on that card? You just make it dirt cheap. You just make it dirt cheap. Hey, we got a call coming in. I'm going to take this call. Caller, hang in there. I'll get you in. What you do is the key is, you can just kind of look around, right? Right now, if the median household property in your neighborhood is $300,000 or $250,000, then just write, I buy houses under $150,000, and see what happens. But put them in the hand of, this doesn't cost you nothing to put that in the hand of somebody, and get out there, shake some hands, talk to people. And this is primarily for agents. This is for agents. And hey, by the way, if whatever you do, sign up for my webinar. If not, even if you don't have time for the webinar, do it, because you're going to be on the short list for getting my new app that's coming out, and it's free. And I will send it to you. You'll be the first to get it, and it'll be free to you anyways. But right here, you can fill out the webinar or the mentorship form. Either one of these. Webinar is very easy. It just name, email, phone number is optional. I recommend you do it. I don't sick salesman on you or anything like that, but I can text you a link. But just fill that out or go into the mentorship page. And if you're interested in mentoring, listen, if you're somebody out there and you got 50 to several $100,000 or even $1 million, I mean, listen, if you've got that kind of money sitting in the bank, you are wasting it by letting it sit idle. And I'm not looking for you to invest with me in a fund. I'm talking about to invest for yourself. It's the best money you can possibly do is you buy real estate. Listen, that's how I've made tens of millions of dollars, and I've had a lot of fun along the way. And I've gotten into ventures and things that, that were out of my that were out of my specialty, but I've been allowed to play with that money and do different things. So, hey, caller, who do I got on the line?
Hey, Tom, it's John, the jiu-jitsu guy.
Oh, John.
How you been, man?
Oh, hey, good. In Arizona?
Yep.
Hey, man. Yeah, good. I've been thinking about you. How's the dojo going?
Oh, man, it's great. Been awesome. Finally have some time now. I got it up and going.
So now you can be making some money and you can relax a little bit.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm so glad to hear that. So John here is he's been in the mentorship. He's in Arizona, and he's also like me. He loves jiu-jitsu. He's actually a black belt and an accomplished black belt. He got some. You've been to some. I don't know what I don't grapple in the contest, but you have. What do you call those? Just the meets, or?
Yeah, jiu-jitsu tournaments.
Tournaments, thank you. That's what I was looking for.
Championships. Yeah.
Good deal. Yeah, John. Yeah. So what's on your mind?
Well, I guess I was just thinking about you. I saw the live come on, and I'm just gonna start using my time to look for properties and stuff.
Yeah. And so, like I say, John's been building a business at the same time, and he's actually had some other hardships come up that I won't bring up exactly, but he's had to deal with stuff. A lot of people in the class have to deal with life and some of the tough things that happen along the way. And but man, I'm proud of you, man, building up a business, going through the stuff that you've gone through, and that's one of the best things too, by the way, is when you are self-employed like John here is, and many of us are, is you own your schedule. And owning your schedule, having freedom to be able to get up and go somewhere to you know what I mean, not be stuck in a 9 to 5 and have somebody watching you can't leave, or is power, is an amazing power when you can get up, walk away, go have a meeting, go take a look at a property. Do you have some other trainers in there with you, helping you now, that you can turn it over to?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So it makes a huge difference. So I'm going to have a ton of time. I'm pretty excited about it. So
that's great, man. Well, I want to come visit you at your place of work sometime, and maybe we can roll. You can teach me some things.
Yeah. So I was just going through the book a little bit. I'm just curious, like, what updates have you experienced since you wrote the book? And I mean, I know stuff comes up in the mentorship all the time. I just haven't been in there because I work on the exact times that you're running that mentorship. Like,
right,
that's changing. So,
well, you see a lot of people making money, and so John's actually in the mentorship, so I'm going to take you guys in there too, just a little bit. So when you get into the mentorship, there's the course, there's live meetings that we have every Saturday, and we've got just the best and brightest. I'm really proud of the group that's in there. And also, actually, Russ just wrote in. He's also, in the Millionaire Club now. He talked about, he using magnetic signs on the side of the car. Presumably say, I buy houses under 50,000 or something like that. And he's gotten some attention, and he's made a deal or two as a result of that. So you got to think a little bit outside the box and do things that maybe seem a little unconventional. Don't be afraid to do something new, because that's you don't know until you try it. And things that don't cost much money. Just a matter of sticking your neck out. So I'm going to go in here and go to the meeting archives, because kind of that's what John's asking about is. And when you go in here, by the way, these are all. There's hundreds of hours of just amazing information and success stories where, students and myself, we're showing what we've done and how we've done it, and the deals we negotiated and the profits that we made. And there's tens now, well over $10 million in profitable deals here that the students have made, not including my own. And so it's a fantastic situation. And I'm trying to see here if I can find anything. Everywhere around me, and I don't know if it's that I'm in a little honey hole, as I call it. Anyways, that's me teaching the class there, but you can see, right on, man. Well, thanks for sharing. I keep activating the video itself, but so in here, just because we're acting, actually, Jerry, you might remember Jerry. Jerry got a building worth about $3.5 million. He got it for $975,000. Russ here, he picked up a beautiful building. He's got $14,000 a month coming in on a building he paid $350 for and put about 80 in. So he's got $430,000, invested in a building that he'll get all of his money back basically in right at about 3.5 years. So there's just some fantastic stuff going on.
Yeah, it's so cool to see people in the mentorship actually like make things happen and be really successful. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. Like I say, I don't know. I don't think there's anybody out there that can boast the success that we've had. Nobody even compares. And then you can look at all the names that everybody knows. What they call success stories. My students wouldn't even look at. In fact, I see Herb there. Herb's made $100,000. There's just there's so many students in the class that have made money.
I don't think it'll let me because you're doing it on that computer that you're on.
And what's cool is, and that's, I think that was Eric's voice I heard. Eric, another one over $1 million. And so what's nice is you go clear back to when I started this thing back to in 2021, and now here we are in 2024, and we see people that right here, that looks like Richard to me. I think that's Richard. Richard's made about $1.3 million, has a few buildings coming under his belt. 4 buildings he owns now that are bringing him $150,000 a month. And it's just cool. It's just all over. Liam here, $500,000. Anyways, so that's a big rundown on stuff that's happened. But yeah, I'm glad you called in. And hey, I got somebody else calling in here. I'll go ahead and let somebody else in if that's okay.
Tom.
Thanks, John. Take care.
Yeah, appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Yes,
Bye-bye.
sir. Thank you. All right, caller. What's your name?
Hey. You can hear me?
Yeah, I hear you well. What's up?
Hey, Tom, it's Justin.
Oh, okay. Hey, Justin from the class. Okay. Justin in the class or a different Justin?
How's it going?
Good.
Justin in the class. Yeah. How's it going?
Hey, things are good, man.
So, yeah, I wanted to give you an update. So I sent out my letters last week, and I already got a couple callbacks.
All right.
The one I was telling you about. I remember I talked to you last week. I was telling you about that guy that owned like a shit ton of properties near me.
Yeah. Be a little bit cryptic here, Justin. We don't want to give too many secrets out to the general public, and I don't want anybody to know exactly where you're at either. I always tell you, loose lips sink ships. You want to protect your little honey hole or whatever you got going there. But yeah, I do remember quite well. Yeah. So what's happening? Some action?
Yeah, no. Well, that guy, he kind of shut me down. I lowballed him a little too much, I think. But I got another one. It's a mobile home. Do you know, how do you feel about those? Because it's a really good price on it.
Hey, we've got Austin who walked into the mentorship about 4 months ago. He's bought two mobile homes, and I think he's going to make about 110 grand between the two of them. So I think they're great. It doesn't matter. I mean, condo. Chris just bought a condo last week. It doesn't matter. Listen, I called it flip anything because I mean flip anything. I bought and sold fire trucks. I've bought and sold just all kinds of different devices and machineries. As long as you know value, you can buy something under market and sell it for more. Real estate is the easiest, best there is, and the most lucrative because you can leverage it, right? Because the banks will loan you, sometimes 80, 75 to 80% of what you're buying. And then you got to make money on that money that you borrow. So, we got a bunch of people, that have made money on trailers. I actually made money on a trailer park.
Okay.
But mm-hmm.
Yeah, because, there's not a ton of them in my area, so I'm just a little, but from what I've seen, this thing's a no-brainer. I'd be getting it probably half of what it's worth.
Okay. That's where you should be. Yeah. And it's in a park?
Yeah, so... No, it's on a half acre.
Oh.
It's private land.
Oh, so you're going to buy the land too with it?
Yeah. So, yeah, and it's a hoarder house. Like, it needs a lot of work, but, I figured I could throw about 30 into it, and it would be really nice. And,
right.
Yeah, it's got, public water, septic that, it's going to pass. So,
having all those.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go for it.
Right. Well, just make sure the local ordinances that you have it. Like you say, the septic is cool. I don't even know, they have certifying of different types in different areas. Just make sure for whatever you got going on there that it's good. And and then the other thing is you should know what the value is of the lot, and then and same with the trailer itself. So. But yeah, well, that's great, man. Congratulations. I love hearing it.
Yeah, So we're gonna get that signed tomorrow, and I'll let you know how it goes.
Great. Yeah, just how to get a hold of me if you need any help. So.
All right, Tom.
All right,
Thank
man.
you.
All right, thank you, man. Take care, Justin.
Take care.
Yep. All right. So yeah, like I say, it's really cool because just like Justin making this deal, and other people in the class, it's. You see people making money so many different ways, in the mentorship, and every Saturday is another, 3 hours of content that goes into this. So let's see. Do we have somebody else trying to get in here? Yeah. Anybody? Hey, the line's open. Anybody wants to get in? You got a question about anything? I don't care if it's apartment buildings, industrial, commercial. I've owned all those kinds of properties. Still own a bunch, and anything you want to know about, whatever. I'm open book. If I haven't done it, I'll tell you that too. Yep. So, anyways, there's the number if you want to call in. What else can we talk about? I have seen values dropping, or I should say, asking prices dropping, across the country. Everything, absolutely everything, has been, you're seeing, adjusted price, and I've gotten a lot of contacts directly on some people that want to sell. I actually contacted, and I stay on top of the ones that I'm most interested in myself. Very important that you follow up and that you stay in touch with people, if you want to be successful, and you'll learn a lot in the mentorship, so much more than what's in the book, and you just learn from, and you can, it's one thing. There's a lot of people out there that just simply copy information that they've accumulated. They've never done shit, and they're telling you how to do it, and they don't know. There's nothing like dealing with somebody that's actually been there, done that. And now I've got a classroom full of people that fall into that category as well. And so, and they're more in touch with the nervousness and some of the fears that new students have. And you get over it. When you first get in there, it's got to feel like Christmas when you buy something. In other words, it really has got to feel like you got a gift. So Russ just wrote, Tom, how much do you expect to spend to rebuild a 6,000 square foot single stone retail building? The bare minimum, Russ, because the things, and Russ, this kind of falls into your category too. So look, I'm going to show you a building that's right in that ballpark. So let me show you. I'm going to show you a building that I still own, and this has been a wonderful property. But this falls right into the category. He's talking about a 6,000 square foot building. So look, this is a building. I made about $2.5 million on a single piece of land. And if you guys are interested in land, it's very lucrative. My students have actually done quite well with land now too. But I've made millions of dollars in land and other items as well, or types of properties. But this property here is one that I bought, and it was just a butt ugly property. I want you to take a look. Look around the back here. Let me show you this. Look back here. See this little mansard? This used to go all the way around the building. It's just got a little bit of an angle, just enough to get a little bit of shade, have a couple of lights tucked up underneath. This is, just an ugly green shingle. Well, this is what the front looked just like that. That's what the front looked like. In fact, I have a video out there. I can show you too. And so, Russ, it cost me about $60,000 to reface this. In other words, I basically steel framed everything you see on here. I went from that little ugly mansard to what is now a 7 foot tall steel frame, and I went all the way down the side of it. See up here? All of this is the same as this. That's 7 feet high. It gives you a nice big platform to put signage. Signage is super important. And this is a beautiful property. But so what I was going to say though, Russ, is it's got to look nice on the outside. You guys that have retail buildings, the most important thing is make the outside presentable, because that's what people see. That's what's going to turn them on. Now on the inside, and look at here on the other thing. Look at, I got a freeway right here. You see the freeway, and also from that freeway, I now have visibility. And let's just go back on top of the freeway, if we can. I'll start right here. So from the freeway, as you go down this upper deck, you'll see, as we move along, not going very fast here, but sorry. But what I want to show you is that improvement that I did on that building. You can see it from the freeway, which is very important. So look here. There's the building, right here, right here, to right here. So you can see that the front, and right here also, you can see the side. And I trimmed these trees back actually since I did that. So even when you're driving down the freeway, you've got this beautiful giant piece of real estate, meaning the sign, where you can write, whatever, jiu-jitsu, chiropractor, whatever the business is that's in there. That's like, when you have a signage like this, as a business, you'll save $3,000 or $4,000 a month in advertising, because you don't have to spend that advertising. Everybody that drives by knows you're there. And then when they go to look for that service, you're a carpet guy, all of a sudden, somebody drives by and, I need a piece of carpet, I had a flood. And they go, oh, where am I going to go? Well, I drive by a place every day. I see a big sign that says flooring. And now that's a big benefit. And these are things that Russ, that'll make your property stand out. So I would tell you, Russ, and we'll talk about this in the class, but just invest in, doing a nice facade. You got to make it about as tall as you can. But you got to remember, these things catch wind, and you have to have a structural engineer engineer it, because it's got to tie into the trusses that go, that span the roof line, because that gives it the stability, because these catch wind. So, and you got to catch wind on both sides, because that facade is higher than the roof. But it's an excellent investment. And like you got to remember, on a property like this, you know, I have an off ramp here above my head that takes them down to this lower deck so they can turn left under the bridge and go to my property. And then likewise, there's an off ramp over here. So that's real important because, you want to have signage. It's always about a mile, right? About a mile back from the off ramp is where you'll usually have a sign on the road, that'll tell you, whatever avenue that there's, an exit coming up. There's an on ramp here, actually. Yeah, let me see if I can show you. But again, these are kinds of things you look for. Is if you're going to have a property near a freeway, that's great. But not every property along the freeway has an off ramp, that has the same street as the address. Like, in other words, you go both directions on here, it has the avenue exit, the exit for that avenue where my building is, both ways. Things got to be easy. We talk about location, and location. It used to be more importantly that it was like a visible location that you could see. Not so important now. I mean, being close proximity to the freeway is very important. Line of sight still has a lot of pluses. Don't get me wrong. But like for a hotel and that sort of thing, they can be way off the freeway because people just go to their app. They say, "Hey Siri, give me an apartment near me," or a hotel near me, and it's just going to tell you that there's one nearby. You don't really care if your place is visible, especially a hotel where you're going to stay. You care about where can I get a cheap, clean, safe room, not too far off the road, and it'll tell you. And it may be way inside of here. In fact, I'll show you something that goes exactly to that point. I'm going to show you, and I'm going to make so much money in this area, folks. It's crazy. And the reason I say that is, take a look at this. And I own a lot of property in this area, hundreds of thousands of square feet just on this road. And look at that. That's a new 5-story, 110-room Hilton right there. And, and I own a bunch of property nearby. And these, everything's going up. Everything's getting very dense. Hey, Kelly, glad to see you in here. Yeah, thanks, Russ. Yeah, and like I said, and there's some new product. So back to Russ's deal. The main thing when you have a retail structure, and I've been going over this with Jerry particularly, and we did this already too with you, Russ, on your last retail deal. You just want to deliver a clean white box. We call it a white box. You're just delivering 4 white walls and a clean ceiling, right? It could be a suspended ceiling. And then you don't anticipate what they want for carpet or rooms or any of that stuff, because the tenant, when he comes in, he knows exactly what he wants. He knows his business better than anybody. So he knows if he wants an open room or if he wants walls and where he wants them and how many rooms he wants, or offices, big or small, conference room, maybe he does or want one. You never know. But you leave that stuff to the tenant to decide. Because I can tell you in the past, I've made those mistakes. That's why I try to save you guys from them. I've put in walls and then had a great tenant come in and say, "It's perfect." And I'm like, "I'm so happy." They go, "Well, take it. If you can just remove these walls." And now I'm removing all the walls and the sheetrock, the electrical switches, the lines, the air conditioning ducts, all this stuff was done. It's expensive. And because I was forecasting, I'll put a chiropractor in here. I'll put a massage parlor in here. I'll put a real estate office in here. And then, no, I get some guy that just wants a big open room, because he's, whatever he's got is on display is, of a larger kind. Hey, Guyana, good to see you in here. Anybody else want to call in, man? There's the number. Call in. And like this is a good example. This is a building. I built this building right here behind me. I built this building back in 2002. That's a 16,000 square foot office building. And you know what? It's been rented by the same tenant for like maybe 18 years, right? Long time. And, we're in big rent, and also, and I built another office building across the street right here. I built this one. I bought this one. I still own that. And I bought this one. This is another. This is 20,000 square feet right here. I still own that. These are I have tenants, some tenants that pay me $1,000. Oh, gosh, this is my lawyer actually. I'll have to message. Hopefully that's his cell. Anyways, that people that pay me $1,000 a day. One tenant pays me $1,000 a day. $30,000 a month. It just before you know it, you're rich and you have a lot of property. You're older too, but the good side about being older is that you can retire comfortably. So I'll take another call coming in, and we can talk about anything you guys want. So hey, caller, what's your name?
Hey, hello, Tom. My name is Angel. How you doing?
Good. Daniel or Annual? What'd you say?
Angel.
Oh, Angel.
Angel.
Gotcha. Hey, Angel. Thanks for calling. What's on your mind?
I bought your book a few weeks ago, and I've been listening to you like for a month already. And actually, I've been I just listening to you. Like, you're my favorite YouTube channel right now.
Thank you.
My question is, yeah, great job, man.
Yeah.
My question is, what amount would you recommend to have, like, in savings besides the mentorship, right? The payment for the mentorship. How much would you recommend to have in savings to start investing?
Have you taken the mentorship survey?
I think I did, like, in December, but nobody got back to me.
Well, do it again, and I will get back to you. I don't know why, but yeah, and if you're watching the screen right now, just to be clear, right here, just go to right here, the mentorship survey, and just fill that out right there. There's not much to do. And worst case, if you don't hear from me, just you can. Tom at FlipAnythingUSA.com. But the reason I say that is because that's a little bit of a personal question, or it can be, because when I talk to a student like yourself, I can tell you, maybe you're comfortable talking openly like this or not, because I started with nothing when I was 19. I started a business, and that was a struggle in itself. It was very, very tough time. It's very difficult for me to tell people how much is enough, okay? Because I weigh it out a little bit. I look at what what you do for a living, how much you make right now, whether you own a piece of property already and have some equity in that. If you don't own anything and you have very little, then I'll give you the best guidance I can. But I'll tell you, probably wait. Get a little bit of a skill set that's bringing you some money in. And I'm not saying this is you, but don't try to guess what you think's in my mind, because you're going to be wrong. If somebody comes in, they got $1 million, and I have people that have $1 million cash, in the bank, but they don't own any real estate, and that's a mistake. And I have people that have, 100,000 or 200,000, and it's terrible that they don't own a piece of real estate, but they're smart enough and disciplined enough that they saved that money, and so they want to be careful with it. And I want them to be careful with it. I don't want anybody losing money, or I just try to give everybody the best guidance I can, because that's the reward for me, is seeing guys my age that aren't as wealthy, but they're making traction fast. They're starting to make a lot of traction fast, and they're seeing a path to retirement, seeing a path to putting their kids through school, and maybe getting out of their 9-to-5 job early. And it doesn't take long. You can make millions of dollars in just a couple of years, and you can probably make $10 million, in a even shorter time. But I'll tell you, you can make it faster than I made it, because if you're in my mentorship, you can, because I can see my students doing it. They're doing it, and it's a huge, it's just a huge advantage to have the guidance of somebody, and especially if you're in a position where you know what I mean. You might have good networking that you aren't even aware of, that you're not taking advantage of, But to your, I would like you to have, I would like you to have 10 grand minimum. I would like you to have 10 grand.
Yeah.
At least. But I mean, but if you told me you have $100,000 equity in your home, then I might say, okay, well, you don't have quite 10 grand in the bank, but you have equity in your home. And not that I want your equity. I do not. Listen, Chris Crone is one of these guys that loves to get the equity out of people's homes. I got zero interest in that, and I don't like what he offers, and I'm not shy about telling people that, I think it's a mistake to invest in a fund. I mean, if I created a fund, it wouldn't be a mistake because it would be very profitable. But unless somebody has a reputation of making money and they can demonstrate it and show you, then you should just buyer beware, man. You got to be super, super careful. Hey, if you just got here, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you're interested in real estate, believe me, this is your channel. I'm not the slickest, most polished person you'd see out there, but I guarantee I am one of the most richest and most experienced at making money in all aspects of real estate. Everything, land, acreage, apartments, retail, industrial, just about everything out there I bought and sold and continue to do so. And I maintain a pretty big portfolio, and I'm good at, I've just been very, very good at maintaining my occupancies. I'm 100% occupied. Not everybody is. Life is good. So Angel, where are you located? What part of the country?
I'm in the East Coast, New York, right now.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Where is that? What city?
Exactly, the city?
Yeah.
It's Westchester County, Yonkers, exactly.
Oh, okay.
Where is it?
Yeah. No, not exactly, but I have students in New York. I used to go to New York quite a bit, actually. I used to, just Manhattan. I'd go see the shows. I had a property over on Edgewater that I was trying to buy, and I wish I'd have got it because it would have been nice. It was just a water taxi, a ride from downtown Manhattan. But there's money everywhere, and it doesn't matter if you're buying a flat or a row house or whatever. There's money in absolutely everything. So, Angel, what do you do for work?
I'm a real estate agent at the moment right now.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, yeah, it's interesting.
I've made a couple deals. I got some money saved, and I'm in the business, but I don't really know. You do sales and everything, but what I'm interested is going and becoming an investor like you. So the knowledge that you have, like what you give for free in YouTube, man, is something that, as a real estate agent, honestly, you will never going to learn that, No, you don't. Because they don't teach you that anywhere.
No, that's why I say, look, there's a lot of YouTubers that were real estate agents that created YouTube channels, and whether they thought they were investors or people thought they were investors, they still lack experience. You know what I mean? And it's, like I say, but I'll show you a guy here that's great, and you would relate to Herbert quite a bit. Let me see if I can find Herbert in here real quick. Ah, damn it, where's Herbert? I don't see Herb's testimonial sitting here. Damn it. I got to find that. Hey, son, we got to get Herbert's testimonial on here. But Herb is a great guy, and, he in New York, agent, and he made $104,000 on his first deal. And he said he was an agent, been an agent for 8 years. And he said he was tired of seeing the investors make the money. He wants to make some of that money. And he did. And it's very cool.
Amen.
Yeah. So, yeah, Angel, listen, definitely, I'll look you up and see if I can find you. But if nothing else, just go Tom at FlipAnythingUSA.com, and I'll get back with you. And because you sound like you'd be a good fit, and we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Like I say, everybody has to be approved.
So much.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate the call.
Yeah.
Yes.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. So, anyways, anybody out there, the line is free if you want to call in. We can talk about anything you want to talk about. I'll share if I know anything about the topic, I'll share it with you. And if I don't, I'll tell you that too. Anyways, but I'm looking forward to, a great 2024. I think it's going to be a very hard and difficult year for some people, and I feel bad for people that are made mistakes. I mean, I got to say, I have no regrets. I'm like, actually, that's an old restaurant. That's a restaurant I bought and sold, made $200,000 on that, or sold it for $200,000 more than I paid for it. And I actually bought these 4 homes too. So it's funny. It's everywhere I look, there's money, and there is. And it's funny. Sometimes I've come back and bought properties that I'd sold at one time to make money on them a second time around. I know. And when you live long enough, that's what happens. But all these properties you see in this picture, those you watching, every one of these properties are properties that I own or have owned. Properties that I bought and sold, made millions of dollars on many of these properties, and bought other properties. It's a very, very comforting place to be, and I'd like everybody to be in the situation where I have little to no debt on most of my buildings. So the bank loves me, they respect me. When you hear this, equity comes, equity goes, the cash flow is flow, that's bullshit. Listen, you need equity to have real cash flow. Because equity means less debt, and and very little debt, and a lot of property equals big cash flow, and you're hard to damage. You're very, very hard to damage. The economy can get very bad. You can lose half your tenants and still make money, and that's really what I'd like to see for everybody. And and we're talking about anything. It can be as far as property goes, people have a hard time, imagining, what they should own someday. It's all over the place. I've got industrial buildings, like you see right here, 20,000 square feet, flex spaces, I call them, that are kind of a cross between retail, industrial, and office. They can kind of go either way or all. And then retail centers, this is like a retail center here. It's where you got a vape shop, a tattoo shop, a dry cleaner, a bar, a restaurant. These are the staples that go into these kind of centers, and these are the kind of things you want to own. And so if you're sitting out there and you've got $100,000 or $500,000 or whatever in the bank, or 50,000, listen, get involved. Take the webinar, get my book. We'll have a call. Maybe you're not going to make the mentorship, or, maybe I won't let you in, or maybe, you don't want in, but I'm just saying you'll learn a lot just talking to me in a very short time, and it'll help you make better decisions for the future. But if you're somebody that wants to, if you don't own a home, it's a no-brainer. If you don't own a home and you have enough money to go put down and buy a home, then it's a no-brainer. You should be in the mentorship, because you'll make cost of the mentorship times 10 back on your first purchase if you follow the fundamentals that I teach everyone. And so anyways, I guess enough on that. Maybe we'll cut it here. There's Lucky Angel. Okay, looking forward to it, Angel. So I'm going to put in here, let me see, I'll put that there. That is for the general chat. That in the chat, those of you that are in the chat, feel free to jump in, call me. Hey, Herbert, there you are. Hey, so Lucky, Angel, Herbert right now is in the chat. Maybe you can, whatever, chat back and forth with the Herb. Herb's actually a real estate agent in the class. And Herbert, I don't know why I don't have your testimonial on the page. I know I have more testimonials than I have posted, but yours is a good one. So I got to get yours back in there. But Lucky, you might reach out to Herbert right now in the class. He's made over $104,000 on his first deal. And, he sounds very, very similar to you, an agent in the New York area. It wants to make money, but he actually has. So as an investor. Anyways, nice to see people from the class in here and some new names. And whatever you do, if you're new here, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And like I say, jump in the webinar and the other things. And hey, Gotham, glad to see you in here too. Gotham's young man. And, there's listen, you don't know what you don't know, okay? And unfortunately, some people find people that don't know what they don't know, and they take advantage of them by misleading them. I will never do that to you. You can tell you, when you come in here, people learn a lot just from what I share, on my YouTube channel for free. But it demonstrates that I've been there and I've done that, and that's what you should come away with. And that's what you should realize is most people can't talk like this. They can't talk about anything and everything because they haven't done nearly anything and everything. So anyways, but hey, thanks for hanging out with me. I appreciate it, everyone. And again, hit that. I'm going to be doing a lot more lives, so hit that notification button so you get notified when I come up. Eventually, I hope to have a schedule. It's very difficult for me to make a schedule, just so you know, because I am a truly active investor. You know, I've been in an two industrial properties today that I own, a retail property, and I'm checking on things, making sure things are going smooth. You know, it's freezing cold, but a lot of people that rely on me for work, they want to work. So I'm out there making it possible so they can work in these extreme cold conditions. And you know, it's a very cool thing. Somebody, awesome live, Tom, rereading your book and learning the fundamentals. Thanks, Oscar. I appreciate that. But so look, if anybody else wants to call in, this is the time to do it because I'm going to close it up here pretty quick otherwise. But please hit that like button, hit that subscribe. Don't be afraid to call. You know, don't be afraid to do things. Don't be afraid. You know, listen, you know, I like to say it. I'm not a gambler, but I like the phrase, if you don't buy a ticket, you can't win the lottery. And I don't mean that, you know, I mean that analogous to, you know, ask a question. Step up, talk, make a phone call, you know, take the mentoring survey, you know, don't be afraid. And hey, we got somebody jumping in for another call. Let's see what this will take us to. Hey caller, what's up? What's your name?
Hey Tom, my name's Rob Terrell. I'm calling from Yakima, Washington. It's just Eastern Washington, from about a couple hours drive from Seattle.
Okay. I used to live in Everett. For a short while, I lived in Everett. My dad worked for Boeing. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Good. Yeah. So you kind of know where I'm at.
Kind of, yeah. I was little. I don't remember everything. But
yeah. Well, Eastern Washington is just kind of dry and hot. And right now we're all cold. But, hey, my question to you was, I've been watching your stuff. I haven't reached out. I just saw you here. I'm on my lunch break, and was just wondering what you do or what advice can you give to investors as far as taxes, as far as specifically when you're flipping. What should you keep in mind when you have your taxes? Because I mean, you can just. I've been bumped up and into the tax bracket and just like, oh my gosh, what'd I do?
Yeah, well,
so,
congratulations. It's a good problem. Yeah. I mean, you know, this is the thing. To be honest, I was so concentrated on making money in real estate the first 20 years that I didn't even pay attention to taxes. You know what I mean? All I did is I kept buying and buying and buying without even realizing that I had the power of depreciation of those assets working for me. And then when I went to sell, you know, then I realized, oh wow, I gotta do 1031s to get out of here, and to go into bigger and better things. And so then I started 1031. So I mean, you should definitely, where you can, and I know it's not always possible, do a 1031. And where, depending on where you're at financially, you can do a reverse 1031. Most people don't know what that is, but it is a wonderful vehicle that lets you take advantage of the 1031, but almost kind of like on steroids. You know, if in other words, I can roll 3 properties into the purchase of one, but if I have a little bit of cash on me, what I can do is you know, because here's, and tell me if you can relate to this. Since you're an investor, I assume you can. You know, have you ever done a 1031? First of all,
no, I haven't.
Are you familiar with the term?
I am with being a homeowner, but
okay.
It's a little different when you're a homeowner and this is your investment property. So,
oh, I see. So you're considered one and the same. So look, that's typical, right? Most people have a home, okay, but you got to have more than one. You got to have two. And I'll tell you why. You buy a home, whether the economy gets better and the value goes way up. Well, you don't want to take a step down in your lifestyle. And unfortunately, when you only own one property, when you get to the time, your golden years, and you want to retire, well, now you've got this great asset. Maybe it's worth $1 million. The problem is, to live in your same neighborhood, you need $1 million, or to live as comfortably in a like kind place anywhere in the country, you're probably going to have to spend that whole $1 million. That's why it's so important that you buy at least two. So you have one that when you get those golden years, you've got one that you sell your home to transfer and move anywhere you want and live at the same comfort level that you are. And then you have the other asset. That's your freedom money. That'll let you, move into another area, or maybe you can buy your dream home, then sell your home. But that goes back to the 1031, reverse 1031. In other words, I've been able to buy, say I got a couple properties I want to sell, and I want to roll all of those profits into a new purchase. Well, it's very difficult to do that with the constraints of a typical 1031, where you only have 45 days. There's a couple different options, but that's the most practical one. And so with a reverse 1031 is, let's say I find an asset I want to buy that's $2 million. Well, I have $2 million, so I can pay cash for it. So I find the super great deal at $2 million. I pay cash for it, and then I put it in the name of the accommodator. That's the one who facilitates the 1031. So now it's holding that asset in his name, or that entity name. Then now I can sell 3 or 4 assets, and I can take my time to sell them, get the most for them, and as they sell, the money goes to buy the asset back from the accommodator to come back into the other entity that owned the other 4 properties. So it returns all my $2 million, and it allows all the profits from those 3 or 4 properties to go straight into the purchase of the one big one that I want, and all that tax is deferred. And this is totally legal. It's a tool out there for everyone to use. And now, so these are the kind of things that you also learn in the class that are really, really important. Did that answer your question?
Yeah. You kind of went over a little my head, but with the accommodator, and
sure.
I obviously need to do some self-education. And,
yeah. Well, listen,
I actually most things that our accountants are aware of.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Every accountant would know that for sure. Okay. Just so you know, I got on the screen right now. Fill out the mentorship survey. This is where you'll get some one-on-one time with me for free, and I can tell you about some of this stuff. And whether you join or not, I don't care. I'm happy to help you. But fill this out right here, the mentorship survey, and maybe the webinar too. But certainly get the book. If you don't have the book, you should get the book. But anyways.
I got the book. Yeah.
Oh, great. So let me read here. A couple people wrote in. Johnny G wrote, I read your book, and the chapter about bird dogging seemed to be about finding off-market deals by driving around looking for opportunities, sending out laters, and that's one of a few ways. Sure, that doesn't get old, but there's a lot of different ways, and you'll learn a lot more in the mentorship that's not in the book. But do I look in the MLS? Yeah, I buy anything and everything. You'll learn a lot about, listen, a lot of times I'm not the first one there. I try to always be first. A lot of times I'm the second one there, but I managed to get it away from the guy that's ahead of me. And that's become an art form, and I've been really good at that. And so are my students now. And that's what you want to do, and that's where you want to be. Anderson Lynn wrote, do you like No, I think you're saying triple net properties. Yeah, triple net. I mean, anything can be a triple net property. It's just how you write the lease. And what's the pros and cons on them? Listen, there really is no problem. It can be a little bit of sticker shock and concern for the tenant when they go to sign a triple net lease. Everybody likes, listen, we all love stability, and we like to know what's coming, right? That's why when we're in business, we like to know where we stand. We like to know what the tax laws are. We like to know if there's a tax break or a tax cut coming. And then, of course, the government screws everything up. They hold certain things hostage. Like there's, I think it's something 179 that allows you, accelerated depreciation on certain assets. That's a big important thing to businesses, because they may or may not, they'll buy a piece of equipment if they can depreciate it extra fast. But they're sitting there holding it hostage, and then so the businesses are sitting there going, I can't do anything. I'd like to do this, I'll buy it, but I don't know if they're going to extend this. And so it's that kind of stuff. Of course, the government really never has any respect for business or the people for that matter. But those are the kinds of things that get in the way that you can't control. And, and with real estate, it's no different. So when you tell somebody you're going to put them in a triple net lease, they're like, what do you mean? My rent can go up? Yeah, if they raise my taxes, then you're going to get a little piece of it. If I have a building with 20 tenants in it, and let's say the taxes are $80,000 a year, well, if my taxes go up, whatever, $10,000, and all things being equal in the building, if all 20 tenants have the same amount of space, then they're each going to get hit for $500, and that's just how it is, they're going to get a proportionate amount of the tax. And then you got to look them in the eye and you say, listen, I'm not making any money. I'm not raising your taxes. They're raising your taxes. I'm just passing the tax burden through. So I don't get less rent and you're still paying the same rent, but you're having to pay a higher piece of the taxes. You're just having to pay a little more tax because that's what, and then that way, that way it's important for me that tenants know where the burden comes from. In other words, if I say, well, your rent's going up, or it feels like your rent's going up, the tax portion of your triple net lease is going up. The insurance part of your triple net lease is going up. The water part of your triple net lease is going up because the water company raised the cost of water. The insurance company raised the cost of insurance. The taxes went up. In other words, I'm not making any more money. So it's not the greedy landlord, it's the greedy government, it's the greedy utility companies. In other words, because those are the culprits because a lot of times the landlord gets blamed for, he's gouging me, the rents keep going up, but they don't know that the landlord got hit for another $40,000 a year taxes, or, another $10,000 more a year on insurance. So it's very, very important. And it's important as landlords out there. And I'm fixing to start put triple net leases on some of my residential rentals, because, it's very irritating to you when you're pegged as raising people's rents when you haven't raised their rents. All you did was pass the taxes through to the tenant. So Anderson Lynn wrote, he's the one who wrote triple net. So, all right. Well, hey, anybody got any other questions? Do it now and or make a phone call right there. Otherwise, I'm going to wrap it up. I probably should do it anyways. I got stuff going. Actually, yeah, I do. I actually got a sister coming in from the airport too. So I better wrap it up anyways. But hey, again, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and and hit that notifications button, and you'll catch me live here. And you ask a question, I'll answer it to the best of my knowledge. I don't give away every secret by any means, because that's for the students that pay for the mentorship. And but you can be a part of that. You can be a part of that too. You got to be approved for it, but you can be a part of it. Just like I said, fill out the mentorship survey. And the mentorship survey right there, and or the webinar, and certainly get the book. If you don't have the book, get the book. That's a no-brainer. And this book could be worth $1 million to you, and that's the truth, because it's been worth that. And the mentorship's been worth more than $1 million to several people. Some that are in here right now. So, anyways, thanks everybody for hanging out, and we'll talk to you soon.
And listen, time is on a mission to eliminate all the snake oil and the fake gurus that fake y'all. He'll show you how to build an empire, starting with nothing but a desire. All you really need is a good mentor, not a used car bullshit. With time, you'll learn to crush it. Investing like Warren Buffett. With real estate, you cannot procrastinate. Everyone who hesitates is left at the starting gate. Hey, yo, so don't delay and join today. The mentorship and flip anything. USA, go.